Okay, so this video covers the investigation on page 215 on the shape of the quadratic function. So it says here on your CAS calculator, but I'm going to show you how to do it on the, TI-84 plus calculator, which is the one you can get from the library. So let's change that. On your TI-84 plus calculator or computer, explore the effect that a parameter k has on the quadratic function y equals x squared. The parameter k can be positive or negative, integer or fraction. So when it's talking about a parameter k, you can just put anything in, like you can put a 2 in, you can put 8, etc, etc, etc. So they ask you here, sketch the following graphs and see the effect that k has on the function y equals x squared in each case. So first you can sketch this, and then you might sketch this one, which you might say y equals 2x squared, so k would be 2. And then you might sketch this one, and you could say that's y equals x squared plus 2, or you might change the number, you might say y equals x squared plus 10, or something like that, for example. So we'll go through how to do this on the TI-84 calculator. And then you can go through and do C, D, E, etc. And you can also do part question 2 and question 3 if you wish, but it's at least worth doing question 1, A, B, C, D, E. It doesn't take too long. So here is the TI-84 calculator. If you turn it on and press this y equals button, you'll get this screen. And basically what you can do is you can enter an equation into this screen. Now, if I want to enter our first equation, just y equals x squared, what I do is I'm in the y equals screen here, and we need to put x in, so we press alpha, the green button, and then you can see above this little stow button, there is a little green x. So the green things indicate what you will get if you press alpha. So you press alpha x, and then to get the squared, here's the x squared button. So you just press the x squared button, you don't have to press second or alpha or anything, and you'll get a screen looking like this. Okay, so now press the graph button just here, and the screen will draw a graph for you. Now your x-axis in this, so y-axis and x-axis in this case, are centered on the screen. That's just the default. And here's your little parabola that's drawn. Not very good visibility, like you need to sort of zoom out and move the screen about, so we'll do that next. So what you want to do, if you press the window button here, you can change the window settings to help you view it better. Now on the left here, we've got our default window settings, -10 to 10, -10 to 10. So x minimum will be the minimum value of x that will display. X max is the maximum value of x, so that's kind of like your horizontal zoom. Y minimum is the minimum value of y it will display, and y max is the maximum value of y. This x SCL is your x scale, so each mark on the axis represents 1 unit, and then you've got y scale as well. In this case they're equal. If you make sure they're equal, it won't distort your graph, whereas if you have a different scale on each, your graph might get squashed or squeezed, basically. So I've set mine to -10, 10 left for x, and then y minimum I've put -2, and my maximum 20, because that'll move the y minimum down towards the bottom, so it's showing from -2 to 20, the x-axis will sit near the bottom, and because we're just dealing with positive parabolas at the moment, that should show us everything. Now once you've set your settings up, press the graph button. So pressing the graph button will take us back to this screen, and it draws our graph for us. So there's y equals x squared. And you can see that down here, down here, the lowest y-axis value is -2, top one is 20, and then we go from x equals -10 to +10. So you can experiment with different values for the window settings and see how it moves your display around. Now, if you press the y equals button again, it'll take you back to your y equals page, and you'll see in y1 up here you've got x squared. Now if you press the down key is in your navigation keys, it'll take you down to y2, and you can type in a different equation. So For example, this is y equals kx squared. I've typed in y equals 2x squared, so k is 2, and if you then press graph, and it will take you to graph it, but because we've got two equations, it's graphed two lines. So there's our y equals x squared line on the outside, and y equals 2x squared. It's a bit squishier on the inside. If this is a bit annoying with the two lines, you can just delete y1 and type in the new equation in its place, and it'll graph the new line for you. But sometimes it's good to graph them both at the same time so you can see the differences between them. Here you can see I've just added a third equation here, and here we've got a graph of all three, our third equation being this one, so our third equation being here, cutting through the x-axis a bit higher, so y-axis a bit higher, and so I just went back to y equals, and then pressed the graph to go back to the graph, and it graphed the third line for me. So just one more note there, I used +8 here. You can use whatever you want, but I used +8 just so it would move it up 8 units, move it up a decent amount so I could see the difference with my three lines there. It was actually significant, so they're not all falling on top of each other, or rather than zooming in with my window settings or something, I could just see it from this amount of zoom. But you can use whatever you want when you're adding your k values according to the according to these things they've suggested in their investigation. Now, if you've got a few lines in your screen, or a few curves on your screen, like in the left picture here, and you want to get rid of them, what you can do is you can press. There is a clear button here, but that doesn't clear the lines. You press second and then program, and the second function of the second operation is actually draw. So second and then draw, and then you'll come up with this display on the right here, and option 1, clear draw, clears the drawing, so you just select that, press enter. Yeah, that's that. One more note, if you're in this screen on the calculator and you want to clear one of the equations, you just scroll up or down to that equation, and you press the clear button here to clear that equation.